There's a benefit tied to your VA disability compensation that could put over $400,000 tax-free into your family's hands, and almost no one is using it. It's not a new program. It's not buried in some VA regulation that nobody reads. And it's not a special application you need to file. But it's built into the structure of how VA compensation works. Specifically, what happens when you take income that's already tax-free and you position it correctly. And the reason that most veterans miss it isn't because it's complicated. It's because every financial advisor they've ever talked to has treated their VA comp like it's just spending money, like it's just another direct deposit that covers their mortgage and maybe the truck payment. Nobody ever looked at it and said, this is the most tax-efficient income stream in your entire financial life. And if you reposition even a portion of it, you can create a $400,000 legacy that costs your family nothing in taxes. And that's what this video is about. So I'm Dan Farnsworth, retired naval officer, 23 years in the Navy, and founder of Victory X Financial. And I'm about to show you the math behind the most overlooked wealth building advantage that veterans have. So let me describe what I see in almost every consultation I do. And if this sounds like your household, don't feel bad. It's what everyone does. And that's the problem. VA compensation hits on the 1st of the month, and by the 15th, it's gone. Groceries, insurance, car payment, maybe a dinner out, maybe some stuff on Amazon that the kids needed for school. And look, that's real life. I get it. Bills don't pay themselves. But here's what's actually happening in financial terms. You're taking the only income stream you have that carries zero tax liability. No federal, no state, nothing. And you're converting it into consumed expenses. And once it's spent, it's gone. It generated no growth. It built no asset. And when you pass away, that income stops completely. Your spouse doesn't receive it. Your kids don't inherit it. The VA doesn't just send a final check. It just ends. So let me put a number on what that looks like over a lifetime. So a married veteran with a 70% disability rating receives roughly $1907 a month. So that's about $23,000 a year. And if that veteran lives to age 80 and started receiving compensation at age 40, that's 40 years of payments. So approximately $915,000 in total tax-free income over a lifetime. Now that's a big number, and every cent of it got spent. No growth, no compounding, no legacy. $915,000 just flowed through that veteran's hands, and at the end, the financial impact on their family is zero. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't use your VA comp to live. You earned it. You should absolutely use it. But the question is whether you should use all of it on expenses that just depreciate the moment you buy them, or whether a portion of it, not all of it, just a portion, should be doing something that lasts. And here's what I mean by the $400,000 benefit that most veterans ignore. So your VA compensation has a unique characteristic that no other income in your life has. It is tax-free at every single stage. When the VA pays you, no taxes. That part you know. But here's the part that most veterans don't realize. If you take that tax-free income and you redirect it into a properly structured growth vehicle, one that grows tax-free, lets you access it tax-free, and passes to your family tax-free, well, you've created something that doesn't exist anywhere else in the financial world. A completely tax-free wealth pipeline from source to legacy, and no taxation at any point. Your pension can't do this, it's taxed as ordinary income. Your TSP can't do this because it's taxed on every withdrawal. Your civilian salary can't do this. It's taxed before you ever even see it. Even a Roth IRA has contribution limits and income restrictions that cap what you can build. Oh, and don't forget, Roth income also appears on your 1040. It may not be taxable now, but Uncle Sam reserves the right to change the rules later. That $38 trillion in national debt, you can bet they're already thinking about it. VA compensation has none of those restrictions. There's no limit on what you can redirect. There's no income phase out, right? There's no government cap on how much tax-free growth you can generate from it. The tax code essentially gave veterans a backdoor that nobody in the financial industry is talking about, because most financial advisors don't work with enough veterans to even notice it exists. And that's the benefit, not the VA comp itself. Veterans know about that. The benefit is what VA comp becomes when you stop spending all of it and start positioning a portion of it inside the right structure. And what it becomes is a tax-free legacy asset worth $400,000 or more, exposed to zero market downside, accessible as tax-free retirement income while you're alive, and paid out to your family as a tax-free death benefit when you're gone. That's not theory. And let me show you exactly how the math works. So let's use a real scenario. So a veteran, age 40 with a 70% disability rating. So his monthly VA comp is approximately $1907, annual about $23,000. So right now, all of that just gets spent. So when he passes, his family receives nothing from it. So now let's say he redirects $800 a month, so less than half his VA comp. Not a lifestyle change, he probably wouldn't even feel it after the first 2 months. So $800 a month goes into a tax-protected growth structure, one where his money is linked to a market index so that when the market goes up, he gets to participate. But there's a floor, so when the markets crash, his account doesn't just go backwards. His principal is fully protected. He can't lose what he's already built. And he does this for 25 years, so age 40 to age 65. So total redirected, $240,000. Now at age 65, here's what he's looking at. A projected tax-free cash value of approximately $590,000. That's money that he can access as retirement income. And a projected tax-free death benefit of approximately $760,000. And that's what his family receives if he were to pass away that year. Well, now he begins drawing tax-free income, approximately $55,000 per year, on top of his pension, on top of his Social Security, and on top of his full VA compensation, all cost of living adjusted. And when he passes, let's say that's at age 85, he's pulled roughly $1.1 million in tax-free retirement income over 20 years. And his family still receives over $400,000 tax-free. So the total lifetime tax-free impact from this strategy is over $2 million with projected COLA adjustments from just $240,000 of redirected VA compensation. That's income that would have just been spent on things he can't even name if you asked him today. So let me say that again because I want it to land. $240,000 of redirected spending turned into $2 million in tax-free lifetime value. That's more than 8 times the value without a single dollar exposed to market loss and without a single dollar taxed at any point. And here's the $400,000 benefit. That death benefit his family receives at the end, the $400,000 plus that arrives tax-free when his spouse needs it most, that exists because he made one decision at age 40 to stop spending all of his VA comp and start positioning a portion of it. Now, I have to be honest with you about something. The math gets harder every year that you wait. Not impossible, but harder. So at 40, redirecting $800 a month for 25 years builds over $1.5 million in tax-free value. That's the scenario I just showed you. At 50, the same $800 a month for 15 years still builds meaningful wealth, but the cash value is smaller, the death benefit is smaller, and the retirement income is lower. Now you can offset that by contributing more per month, but the compounding window is compressed. Now at 55, you've still got options. I mean, I've built plans for veterans at 55 and 58 that still produce strong outcomes, but the margin for hesitation shrinks every year. The point isn't to scare you. The point is that the benefit, this tax-free pipeline, has a time component. So the longer your money is inside the structure, the more it compounds. The more it compounds, the larger the death benefit. The larger the death benefit, the bigger the legacy your family receives. So every month you spend that VA comp without redirecting a portion of it, you're not just missing a month of growth. You're missing a month of compounding that affects every month after it. Time is the one thing that I can't add to your plan after the fact. Now here's what gets me. If a civilian wanted to leave their family a $400,000 tax-free inheritance, they'd need to either save aggressively in taxable accounts for decades, paying capital gains along the way, or just buy a standalone life insurance policy and pay premiums that feel like a second mortgage. You have an advantage that they don't. You have tax-free income that can fund a structure where the growth, the access, and the payout are all tax-free. Your cost to create a $400,000 legacy is a fraction of what it costs a civilian. And the money you're using to fund it is money that you're currently spending on things that lose value the second you buy them. Look, this isn't about being cheap. It's not about deprivation. It's just about understanding that you have a tool in your financial life that is more powerful than almost anything a civilian can access, and you're using it to buy groceries. Look, nobody told you, so now I'm telling you. What you do with it from here is your call. I spent 23 years on active duty in the Navy, and during that time, I went looking for someone who could build a financial strategy around military income, around pensions and VA comp and TSP and TRICARE, around the way that veterans actually earn. It was very hard to find that person, so I became that person. And that's what Victory X Financial is. That's what our RetireMax Elite strategy is built to do. Custom plans for military families that take the income that you already have and turn it into tax-free wealth that lasts beyond your lifetime. So here's what I want you to do right now. Click that link down below and book a free strategy session. There's no cost, there's no obligation, and there's no pressure at all. And on that call, I'm going to show you your specific numbers, not just a generic scenario, but your VA rating, your age, your income, your family situation. And I'll show you exactly what your $400,000 benefit looks like, how much to redirect, how long it takes, what the projected cash value, retirement income, and death benefit look like for your situation specifically. You'll leave that call with a clear financial picture, whether we work together or not. That's a guarantee. But here's the thing, the longer that VA comp keeps flowing straight into your checking account and straight back out, the smaller this opportunity gets. And not because the strategy changes, but because time does. So if this video showed you something you hadn't considered before, that's your sign. Don't bookmark it. Don't just tell yourself you'll come back to it later. Click below, pick a time, it's 30 minutes. Let's look at your numbers. So I'm Dan Farnsworth with Victory X Financial. Stay sharp, stay ready.